Here are some pictures from our class at recess. This is our kindergarten playground. Throughout the day, the children participate in something called turn and talk, where they have to turn and talk to their partner. We've taught the children how to look at the person speaking, listen to the person speaking, and have your body still. Also included are some inside play pictures. These are also some students playing with items during inside play. Your child will be bringing home a folder that contains the following information. The green paper gives you an opportunity to ask your child questions about their day at school. The gold paper is a parent assistance form if you are wanting to volunteer in the class. Then the purple paper is our STAR assessment. It's the parent information letter. And there's also a half sheet of yellow paper that has conference request days and times. If you would please fill that out and return. This slide explains the school-wide expectations for the entire school of be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. School-wide expectations were taught to all students in the school. These expectations span across the entire campus, such as in the cafeteria, hallways, bathrooms, library, etc. The idea of be respectful, be responsible, and be safe are used throughout the entire school, and rules will be posted for children and teachers to use as needed. As dolphins swim together, the S stands for show respect, W work hard, I include others, and M make good choices. This carries over into what we call swim awards. PBIS, otherwise known as Positive Behavior Intervention Systems, is a plan that all schools follow. In regards to behavior, when all children show good behavior, they will be able to participate in their class with Fun Friday. If there's any timeouts during the week, some minutes from Fun Friday may be taken away from a student. Students are also recognized as character kids, one student per month that demonstrates the characteristics of the Character of the Month criteria, and then swim awards based on the last slide. When students show that they exhibit any of those swim qualities, they may receive a swim award by any person in the school. These are our classroom rules in relation to the school-wide discipline plan, which has also been shared in our classroom newsletter. We had a discussion at open house as far as what students need to be able to do when they're at school on their own. Our class size is very large, of 19. It's very important that students are able to handle things on their own at school. And you can see the areas of at school and things that they do at home. Your child needs to be able to do many things for themselves at school with little to no assistance from adults. So practicing these things at home are going to help your child when they are at school. Second step is a research-based program that helps students with behavior. Number one is Skills for Learning, which is what we are currently working on, and information has been included in our newsletter. Other concepts will cover the areas of empathy, emotion management, and problem solving. And again, this would always be shared in a newsletter with what we are talking about in school. To support the behavior and Our English Language Arts block, or ELA, encompasses read aloud, word work, reading or writing workshop, shared reading, doing literacy centers or work centers, and also guided reading. We have a full 90-minute block, and then we have also a 45-minute block that will cover these topics in all these areas. Shared reading is a time where I am using big books, poems, and we are also doing sight word work, and we do these 5 days a week. Guided reading, once students have been assessed and routines are in place, I will start calling reading groups. Each group is dependent on the area of need for each student, and if not all kids are ready for reading, we do a lot of phonological awareness and phonemic awareness activities. Word work is a big part of our day, where we're following a program from the University of Florida, and it is an explicit and systematic program that teaches students about letter name sounds and also building words. Reading and writing workshop follow a mini lesson model where I teach, we practice, and we share. Most of our math will include using math tubs, which are hands-on manipulatives. Very little use of the Reveal Math Program worksheets. If we aren't using them in school, they will be sent home for you to use at home. Lots of literature and music to teach concepts. We do a daily calendar and number routines. And note that all of the math that we do in kindergarten builds the foundation for future learning and future grades. Everything that we learn in math and also in ELA will always be shared in our newsletter. Math intervention time is a time set aside for me to help students that are behind or uncertain of the math concepts. If we have no children that need that time, then we also will include some fun and having indoor play at the end of the day. Once we've established routines and procedures, we will start attending the computer lab 2 times a week for Dreambox, which is a math program, and 1 time a week for iStation, which is a reading program. We'll also use computers in our classroom to have extra time with practicing skills, and students will be able to learn how to log in on their own and putting their username and password. I ask that you don't do any work at home until November, and that information will be shared in the newsletter as well. Assessments include the state required assessment, which is the STAR. We've done the early literacy and the math. And that information is in your child's folder, and we can discuss that more at length at a conference. Please note that these tests are state mandated. They run from grades K to 2, and it's their first time doing a computer-based assessment. So don't be too alarmed by their score. We really rely on other assessments that we do in the classroom. Report cards are given out 4 times a year with the grading system listed here on the PowerPoint. Encouraging for homework is to read together daily with your child, following some of the concepts that are in the newsletter, like currently talking about characters and main characters. I'm asking your child questions about what's happening in the story, what do you think is going to happen next. Family projects will come home at different times, and then starting in November, encouraging some use of Dreambox and iStation at home. But a big part of student responsibility that's kind of homework for the family is encouraging independent skills, especially things that they should be doing on their own, such as getting dressed, taking care of their toileting needs, packing their own backpack, everything that you think your child can do on their own at school, you need to be helping them learn to do that on their own at home. And most importantly, enjoy time as a family. Your children are only young once, and you'll start to miss these days as they get older, wanting to spend more time with them, not so much worrying about homework. I'll start scheduling conferences to begin at the end of September, and these will go through October and November. The preference sheet is in the folder, so please fill that out and turn that in. Also, the end of September, there's a day of no school for students, and that's a day that I'll probably try to schedule like 8 or 9 conferences. So an email will be sent for sign-up times for those people that would like to take advantage of that opportunity. All volunteers need to be registered, and you can fill that information out on the PCS website online. In order to be able to work independently with students, we do need you to be level 2, which involves fingerprinting process, and information for that can also be found on our PCS website. If you feel at any time during the school year that you're going to volunteer for anything, you do have to be registered, and there is a clearance process. So take care of that early before it's too late, because some parents decide at the last minute they want to volunteer and there's not time to process the paperwork. So please look into that if you're interested. Partner in Education is a great program to help support our classrooms, and thank you to Zoe's dad for adopting our class. I already have some items in the work to purchase off our Amazon wish list. Also joining the PTO, your funds help support our program, and also like them on Facebook because they're always sharing very good information about what they're doing and also information about the school. Just a reminder about school lunch. School lunch is now free, as well as breakfast is free for all students. Money can be added to your student's account if they need to buy a second lunch. If you are a person that feels like you would have qualified for free or reduced lunch, please fill out the forms online, as your family may qualify for additional assistance. Also, any allergies that your child has, please make note of that so that can be shared with the cafeteria staff. Forest Lakes offers a variety of clubs for students, and information is shared through flyers sent in your child's folder and through the Connect Ed message on Fridays from our principal. That concludes our slideshow. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Otherwise, we will talk further in our conference.